In ancient China, there was a kind of astrology called the Eight Characters of Birth, or simply called BaZi. This series of videos will give you a detailed account of the secrets of the Chinese BaZi.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. I'm Professor Bamboo. Last episode, we figured out the 10 heavenly stems. What exactly are the 12 earthly branches? The 12 earthly branches are Zi, Chou, Yin, Mao, Chen, Si, Wu, Wei, Shen, Yu, Shu, Hai. And here's the key difference. Unlike the heavenly stems, where each one represents a single, distinct type of energy, each earthly branch is more like a package of mixed energies. What do I mean by that? Let's look at the chart. Keep your eyes on this image. You'll notice the top row is the heavenly stems, the same 10 symbols we talked about earlier. In this example, the chart stems are Yi, Geng, Ren, Yi. That means this person's personality signature carries the qualities associated with Yi wood, Geng metal, and Ren water. Now, the part we care about here is the earthly branches. On the branches row, this person has Si, Chen, Zi, Si. And when you look closely, you'll see something underneath each branch. There are hidden symbols inside. For example, Si contains Bing fire, Geng metal, and Wu earth. Chen contains Wu earth, Yi wood, and Gai water. These hidden heavenly stems inside a branch are called hidden stems. At this point, you may realize something. So-called Psi fire can be understood as Bing fire plus Geng metal plus Wu earth. And Chen earth can be understood as Wu earth plus Yi wood plus Gui water. Yes, this is a very useful way to think about it. Since the 10 heavenly stems represent 10 different types of energy, an earthly branch is essentially a structured combination of those energies. So Psi isn't just fire, it's a blend. And Chen isn't just earth, it's also a blend. But there's one important detail. Hidden stems are not random. The order matters. Each branch contains hidden energies in 3 layers: a primary layer, a secondary layer, and a residual layer. The primary layer is dominant, the secondary supports it, and the residual is a trace. In terms of strength, as a rough model, primary layer approximately 80%, secondary layer approximately 15%, residual layer approximately 5%. Take Si as an example. Its strongest component is the primary layer. And because the primary layer of Psi is Bing fire, people often shorthand it as Psi fire. But even though residual layer is small, don't underestimate it. Still using Psi as an example, the branch sequence goes Zi, Chou, Yin, Mao, Chen, Si, Wu, Wei, Shen, Yu, Shu, Hai. So you can see the branch before Si is Chen, the branch after Si is Wu. If you connect these 3, Chen, Si, Wu, you'll notice something. In the Chen month, Wu earth is strongest. It's the primary layer. But in the Psi month, Wu earth suddenly becomes the weakest component, while Bing fire and Geng metal rise to the surface. And the thing is, Bing fire was already there, quietly present in the secondary layer. It just doesn't take the lead until the Psi month arrives. Here's a simple real-world analogy. Take the year 2025. The Yin month roughly corresponds to February on the Gregorian calendar. The Psi month roughly corresponds to May. In February, even though it's still generally cold right after the new year, you'll often get random warm days, a sudden spike in temperature. That's like Bing fire hidden in the secondary layer during the Yin month. But by May, that warmth becomes the norm. That's Bing fire stepping into the primary position, becoming the main seasonal force. This is why the hidden stems model is so elegant. It quietly mirrors how climate and seasons actually change. If you followed up to this point, congratulations. You've already understood something important. A BaZi chart isn't mysterious at all. Not only humans have BaZi, cats, dogs, flowers, trees, even companies and nations can be described with a birth chart, because BaZi simply means the time an entity is born. Traditional Chinese thought says, at the moment something comes into existence, it begins to synchronize with the patterns of heaven and earth, so its development and turning points can be modeled and anticipated. You can even extend this system in two directions. First, the stem branch system isn't only for living things, it can describe anything. Second, BaZi is just shorthand for year, month, day, and hour. If you want a finer scale, you can extend downward into minutes, seconds, even milliseconds, turning 8 characters into 10, 12, or 14 characters. Now, I'll show you how yin-yang and the 5 phases are actually used. We've covered the basic meanings of the heavenly stems and earthly branches. Now, we need to introduce a concept that is extremely important, but not easy at first: the 12 stages of growth. The I Ching tradition sees all things as following a cycle: birth, growth, peak, decline, death, renewal, not a straight linear line. The 12 stages of growth describe the full arc, from emergence to fading to rebirth, using 12 states: birth, growth, investiture, appointment, zenith, decline, illness, death, tomb, severance, gestation, nurture. If you draw it as a curve, it looks roughly like this. From birth to zenith, it rises. From zenith to severance, it falls continuously. And from severance back to birth, it rises again. How do we understand this? Let's use a human life as an example. Ancient thinkers believed a person's life passes through these 12 states. In birth, you're in childhood, curious, exploring the world. In growth, you're in adolescence, reading a little, forming your own ideas, becoming rebellious. In investiture, you've just become an adult, learning to take responsibility, solve problems, and cooperate with others. In appointment, you find the field where you can take root. You can organize people and truly enter the social division of labor. In zenith, your talents fully bloom. You perform at your peak and receive wide recognition and praise. Now look at the curve. The I Ching worldview says that when you enter zenith, that's often the moment when things begin to reverse. Peak becomes the start of decline. If the first half of life is about finding where your gifts can shine, the second half becomes a struggle against the inevitable downward trend. In decline, your vision, reputation, and physical strength begin to drop. Then comes illness, where your perspective may collapse suddenly, or your body may become sick even if it seemed fine. Once you enter illness and a death, it often feels unavoidable. In death, your friends and loved ones pass away one after another, and eventually your body leaves this world too. So is death the end? The 12 stages say, not at all. After death, there are still 4 stages: tomb, severance, gestation, nurture. What is tomb? It can mean a grave marker, but also your family legacy, your values, your descendants' upbringing, your spiritual inheritance. In this stage, your family and friends remember you as if you still live in their hearts. What is severance? After a period of concentrated remembrance, your image and ideas gradually fade from memory, almost like you've lost all connection with the world. But is it really over? Look at the curve. When you reach severance, it means a new cycle is about to begin. That's gestation. In gestation, something you once said is suddenly remembered. Your work suddenly becomes popular. Your photos are taken out and revisited again and again. Like early lost artists and thinkers, your body is gone, but your existence is suddenly recognized again, and your will is inherited. Your legacy ferments through your children, students, audiences, apprentices, and readers. Your wisdom is truly understood later and begins to shape the next generation and the generation after that. And what is nurture? It means that long after you've left this world, what you created continues to be remembered permanently through teaching, example, writing, and transmission. That is how ancient China understood a human life. What happens while you're alive and what happens after you're gone, both matter. So how does the 12 stages system connect to the heavenly stems and earthly branches? Imagine the 10 heavenly stems as 10 different characters. Each one goes through these 12 states. So in total, there are 120 distinct stem states. Let's connect this back to the curve. When Gia wood is in birth, the sprouting force is extremely strong. It grows upward no matter what. Its goal is to become lush and thriving. But when Gia wood is in death, its leaves and branches are withered. It becomes dead wood. These two states are clearly different energies, and in the 12 stages rules, when Gia wood is in birth, it is located in high. When Gia wood is in death, it is located in wu. So in this system, the earthly branches act like spatial coordinates for the changing states of a heavenly stem. Each stem has its own 12-stage cycle. For example, Gia wood's birth begins at high. Bing fire's birth begins at yin. This forms the 12 stages table. Once you set Gia's starting point at high, you map the 12 stages onto the branch sequence, and you get the first row. But Yi wood is different. Yi is a yin stem. And in this system, yang stems move forward through the stages. Yin stems move backward. So Yi wood's 12-stage curve is drawn in reverse. That is another expression of yin-yang polarity. If that still feels abstract, let's look at it from a different angle. Keep the stem branch positions fixed and only mark where the 12 stages sit. Then you'll see something very clearly. Gia wood's birth location is Yi wood's death location. Bing fire's birth location is Ding fire's death location. Wu earth's birth location is Ji earth's death location. Gang metal's birth location is Shin metal's death location. Ren water's birth location is Gai water's death location. So, a yang stem's birth is a yin stem's death. That's the logic of yang dies and yin is birth. Yin dies and yang is birth. And it echoes the yin-yang idea of where yang emerges within yin and yin emerges within yang. And with that, we've completed the 12 stages of growth.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please follow our channel. And if you'd like to know your own BaZi and get a simple interpretation, we offer a free BaZi reading. You can find detailed methods in the introduction below the video. See you in the next episode.